As we travel and fish all over the southwest and southeastern parts of the United States, sometimes the fish bite in Plan A works perfectly. Sometimes they don't, and we have to go to plans B, C, D, E, and write down the alphabet. You may get to see some of that develop in the next half hour right before our very eyes. This could get really interesting. We're coming to you from a place with a lot of fish. Let's see what happens next. Fox Sports Outdoors is on the air right now.
You're watching the only program with weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southwest region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
Hi everybody, I'm coming to you from far southeast Louisiana, southeast of New Orleans, from a place called Hopedale. In fact, I'm standing on the Hopedale Highway. It's significant because a lot of the blue crabs and shrimp and oysters that you eat at restaurants across the southern U.S. come from commercial operations right on this highway and right out here in the Gulf. There's also a lot of sport fishing that happens around here. In fact, we're hitching up this week with Captain Britt Ortis. He's got a house right across the street. He guides right out here in the Gulf, and his specialty is catching speckled trout off commercial oil and gas rigs way out in the Gulf. I hope we get to do some of that today. We've got the Blazer Bay 2420 GTS already launched and ready to go behind us, but we've got one problem. The wind is already blowing 18 miles an hour, according to NOAA weather, out in the Gulf. If any boat can make it, the Blazer Bay can. I just don't know if we'll be able to fish once we get there, but we're going to give it a shot. I don't know what Plan B is. If we have to go to Plan B, you're going to see it develop right in the next half hour as it goes. So while we're out doing that, we're taking you around the region for your local fishing reports from our expert team of insider reporters from lakes, rivers, and bays right where you live. Right now, the Blazer Bay goes out in the Gulf. We get you started back at the FSN studios with your weekend planner.
Hello everyone, I have good news for your weekend at the lake. The Salooner tables are indicating that both Saturday and Sunday will have some of the best game fish activity of the month. Peak daytime hours will begin at 1:03 and 1:48 respectively. Look for the sun to rise at 6:57 and set at 8:01. And we'll have a full moon on Sunday. Hang with us for freshwater and coastal information from around the region. Plus, 2017 Bassmaster Angler of the Year, Brandon Polinick, joins us for this week's Ask the Pro segment. We're coming right back.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Lew's. Feel the difference. Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland. We know bass and crappie from heads to tails. Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, Alabama. Plan your fishing vacation and catch the details at orangebeach.com/fishing. And by Glacier Glove. Stay outdoors longer with our gloves, hats, and shades.
There we go. All right. That'll get it going for a little start. Here's one. Got a bite. Got him. There we go. Right on the corner of that jetty, right where he's supposed to be. Nice red. There we go. All right. That'll get it going for a little start. It's a fat one. Okay. Just for openers, let's get our hands on a decent redfish for you right there. There we go. Well, welcome back everybody. We are in Louisiana, and we're actually redfishing at a place I've never redfished before. We're way out on the Gulf, outside the Hopedale, Delacroix area, and we're out on the jetty system. I fished a lot of jetties up and down the entire Gulf Coast, but I've never fished this one. This thing runs way, way out in the Gulf. And I literally pulled up on the corner of this jetty, and that's my first cast. So, how about that for a first cast? And that's good for a start. And he's got a hook right in the corner of the mouth. Let's see if I can get it out without having to go get the pliers. I can. All right. Well, there we go. tail him a little bit, and away he goes. This is a torrent coming through here. There's a incoming tide right now. We're just past high tide, starting down on the back side of the tide. And there is a big gap in the jetty right here in front of me. And the tide is pushing from my right across through this gap and then back out into the Gulf on this side. And this is just a natural feeding area right here, right on that corner. Let's get rigged back up here. We're off to a good start and see what happens next.
Hi folks, this week's Lone Star Lakes is brought to you once again by the good folks at Fiberworks Marine Collision. When you need the work done right, when you need the work done in a hurry, and when you need the work done at an affordable price, Fiberworks Marine Collision. Now this week we're going to go back out to Lake Aquila, only we're fishing for bass this time. A recent tournament bag had 5 fish that weighed 34 pounds and included a 9, 2 7s, and some other big fish to go as well. You'll want to fish deep. You're going to work off main lake points and brush with drop shots, deep diving crankbaits, and your Carolina rigs. Of course, you can start your morning with your top waters like your Z-Dogs and your Pop-Rs and topwater buzz baits, but you'll need to get off on that deep bite pretty quick. Now over at Tawakoni, they're seeing a lot of schooling action. It's both sand bass and hybrids. Again, for the topwater fish, you'll want to use your topwater baits. If you're looking for the hybrids, throw the big pencil poppers. That'll keep the sandies off the baits. And of course, for the smaller fish, you can use something like a tiny torpedo. But most of the time, you're probably going to want to be using a big spoon or a slab to catch these Tawakoni fish. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you once again by Fiberworks Marine Collision. When good enough just isn't good enough. And be sure and check us out, Lone Star Lakes, on Facebook.
Hey folks, Captain Greg Verm here with this week's Fox Southwest Outdoors Report. Hey, today we're going to start all over at Sabine. Captain Bill Watkins told me that fishing in Sabine has been good, from the jetties to the river. Captain Bill said jetty fishing is great when you can get out there. When the winds are light, lots of specks and redfish are on the rocks. Live baits and plastics are both productive. Mid-Sabine Lake, anglers are catching solid specks using croakers on the deeper reefs and mud shell bottoms. Shorelines have plenty of nice redfish hanging out, feeding on mullet. On the south end of the lake, most of the bird action going on, Captain Bill said. The fact is, under most of the birds are gap top and ladyfish. He said there are specks out there too, but you got to get through the gap top and ladyfish to get them. Captain Bill also said that red, specks, and flounder are being caught in the river, and overall, Sabine water is in great shape. Now let's move over here to Galveston. Captain Gregory is already seeing early signs of redfish activity along the passes. Pre-spawn staging of slot and bull reds along North and South Galveston jetties, as well as San Luis Pass and also the Freeport jetties. Best way to catch these fish are live shrimp tied along the tips of the jetties and the boat cut. For the big bull reds, fresh shad or cut mullet fished on bottom in 18 to 25 foot of water. Hey, remember, if you want to fish inshore, offshore, or nighttime flounder gigging in Galveston or Freeport, also we have some awesome September bull red specials with lodging. Give us a call or check out the website. Hey, I'm Captain Greg Verm. I'll see y'all next time.
Fish on. Got another one. What a pull. Oh, he's taking drag. Ha ha! Fish on. Got another one. What a pull. Oh, he's taking drag. Ha ha! Man, I threw out in that deeper water then. And that thing almost didn't make it to the bottom. He is going to Acapulco right now. And I've got my Lew's inshore spinning rod and my Lew's TP1 speed stick inshore reel. Those porpoises are playing right out past where I've got this fish hooked. There they are. He's actually back on the other side of the boat, so I'm gonna do this and this. See if we can get a look at this fish. Look at that dude. Look at that big old dude. Oh, he swam right in the net. Look at that fat pig. That's a toad right there. Look at the size of that big dude. Yeah! Get you some of that. Wow. I can hardly hold that dude up. He gave me a great fight, and I'm just gonna rest for a second. He's got the hook right in the corner of his mouth too, where I think I can just get it like that. There we go. How about that? Big old redfish, Louisiana. Got these porpoises just all around. I've never had this many porpoises circling the boat while I've been reeling a fish in. But I guess they're following the fish. Just the activity got them all excited, and they're still just everywhere. We're gonna let that fish go back. Tail that fish in that current a little bit. Oh, away she goes. I got a confession to make. We came down here to fish for speckled trout and to fish the offshore rigs. There's a bunch of oil and gas rigs out there in 15 feet of water that have a lot of big trout on them, and we couldn't do it. My Blazer Bay 2420 does a great job, and it took these giant waves with no problem, but we just couldn't sit still enough to fish those rigs. And so I ran 15 miles all the way back into these jetties, had no idea what we were doing, had no idea if there would even be any fish on them or not. Pulled up here, I have now made 2 casts, and I've caught 2 big old redfish.
Hey friends, Cajun Phil here with your Fox Sports Southwest Louisiana Fishing Report. I tell you what friends, yesterday Captain Kevin and I, we went out to Calcasieu Lake. We caught between 30 and 50 redfish. I tell you what, it was great. We caught almost all of our fish on live shrimp under a popping cork. And that's the way it is across the whole state. Talk to people in Houma. All of our guys at Shell Beach, Delacroix, we talked to them. They're all catching good speckled trout and good redfish using live bait, either live shrimp, live mullet. Figure mullet's working the best. Now, with fishing this good in salt water, what about freshwater? I would fish the Calcasieu River or the Sabine River right now because both of them are doing good. You can throw spinnerbaits, crankbaits, or plastics and pick up nice bass. Really friends, fish is great all across the state of Louisiana right now. Like we always say, come and get you some. This is old Cajun Phil saying happy fishing. May God bless you. We're going to see you next week right here on Fox Sports Southwest. Bye-bye.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by MotorGuide's new wireless and easy-to-use XI3. XI batteries powering the world forward. WAYPOINT Marine, the Gulf Coast's leading saltwater boating specialist. And Strike King, designed by the pros, fished by you.
Got him. There's a good pull. Up against that jetty. Ooh, taking some drag too. I don't know what I have. Fish. I got something pulling my bobber, my slip cork down. Got him. There's a good pull. Up against that jetty. Ooh, taking some drag too. I don't know what I have. This doesn't feel like a redfish. I've caught some big redfish in here, but this feels different. That's a big old sheephead right there. Yeah. I'm gonna put that baby in the net. That's a giant one. Come in here. Come in here and let's show you. Oh, you are the prize fish right there. Now, somebody wants to eat you bad. Look at the size of that big daddy. Plan B is working out big time. There is a big old sheephead. How about that one? That is one of the biggest ones, if not the biggest one I've ever caught. That's a probably 8 to 10 pound sheephead, something like that. They are great fighting, great sport fish, fantastic to eat. They are very tasty. White, translucent, flaky meat. They got big teeth, big crushers right inside there to pick crustaceans off of rocks. They live around rocks, and that's just a great bonus today. We're making something out of what was nothing. We're gonna put that fish back. Away he goes. This jetty is several miles long, but as you can see right here, I've pulled up to an area where there are little breaks and there's current coming through this jetty, and it's not coming through everywhere. There are solid parts of it that are just still and calm, but then there are parts that have movement in them. And anytime you've got movement and current, you've got bait, you've got game fish.
Hey, we've really been blessed to have had a lot of rain across the state of Oklahoma in recent days and in many areas that needed it badly. As a result, it has our catfish on the move and really biting. In fact, a lot of the bass and crappie fishermen have been sending me pictures the past few days of catfish they're catching incidental to the species they're targeting. That's how Mike Taylor caught this big old flathead at Lake Okmulgee while crappie fishing. Caught it on a Bobby Garland baby shad, and it was a baby shad that Gary Rowe used to catch this flathead at Fort Gibson Lake. The guys who are targeting catfish specifically are having their best success 8 to 12 foot of water on the flats nearest the main river, the main creek channels. The guys who are jug lining and drift fishing are doing well in the channels 15 to 30 feet of water. We have a lot of shad across the state right now. Cut shad are working extremely well to catch both blues and channel cats, and the bank fishermen are catching a lot of channel cats on live night crawlers and commercially prepared stink baits. We have many lakes across the state with good, excellent catfish reports. One of those is Caw Lake, but also the catfishing is good right now at Arbuckle, Worcester, Hudson, Lake Eufaula, Kerr, and Canton. Catfish are biting in Oklahoma and you can catch them, but you can't catch them if you don't go.
All right, got him. All right, that feels like a sheephead. Right in the crevice of that rock. Redfish. Well, I'll tell you, we've caught a little bit of everything today, and we've not been able to show you anywhere near all the fish that we've caught today. We've caught a bunch of smaller redfish. We've caught a bunch of smaller sheephead. We've caught several smaller trout, speckled trout. We just can't show you all that in a quick 30-minute episode the way we do our show. But we're showing you the highlights. I want to show you one thing here real quick before we get out of here. If you want to catch a sheephead, there's certain things you can do. If you want to catch a redfish, there's certain things you can do. They don't stay in exactly the same spot. So here's the deal. If you want to try to catch a sheephead, you want to get up there and contact the rocks. You want to literally get your bait, in this case it's a live shrimp, on a popping cork right in those rocks, and you want to literally touch the rocks, because that's what the sheephead are doing. They're picking crustaceans off those rocks and chasing little shrimp right around those cracks and crevices. You want to catch a redfish, you want to be right on the edge of the cover. So you want to cast it and pull it back just a little bit out from the rocks. And we caught the redfish, most of them we've caught today on a Carolina rig, so you want to be down close to the bottom somewhere if you want to catch a redfish. So it's two different techniques in the exact same spot, and you can target two different species of fish.
You can always watch our latest episode on the front page of our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. Catch up on past episodes by clicking the archive button, and learn about fishing techniques and new gear at our how-to page. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter for new fishing videos every day. Simply search for Fox Sports Outdoors and click the like button on Facebook and follow button on Twitter. And watch a new episode every week on any device by downloading the free WAYPOINT TV app on your phone, tablet, computer, or smart TV. Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by NITRO Performance Fishing Boats. Champions aren't born, they're made. Mercury Outboards, go boldly. And Lowrance and the new Hook 2, the world's easiest fish finder.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for the Ask the Pros segment, where viewers get expert answers from fishing's premier competitors. This week's question comes from Daryl, who asks, do you always let a worm or jig fall to the bottom? For the answer, we checked with 2017 Bassmaster Angler of the Year, Brandon Pollinet.
There are certain situations where I won't always let a jig or a worm go to the bottom. One example being if the fish are suspended around things like docks or standing timber or even vegetation, where I may want to work a swim jig or something up through the water column with those suspended fish, so that I'm keeping it in the strike zone of where those fish are living.
Thanks, Brandon. If you have something to ask one of our fishing superstars, visit the Fox Sports Outdoors homepage online and follow the Ask the Pro link to submit your question. Now it's time to see who wins our Big Catch of the Week contest.
We are back on the trailer, and it's time right now for this week's winner in the Big Catch of the Week contest. He's Jason Dunbar of Austin, Texas, showing a 6-pound speckled trout he caught at Corpus Christi Bay, Texas. And here are some bonus fish from Corpus Christi Bay. John Kidwell with a 23-inch trout, Chad Cohn with a 48-inch redfish, and John Parker with a 30-inch redfish, all from Corpus. If you'd like to be our next winner, just jump on our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com, click on the Big Catch of the Week area on the right side of the homepage, and follow the instructions to send in your big fish photo. Next up, here's the gear that we caught the redfish and sheephead on this week's show, along with a bunch of other fish. It's a typical popping cork rig with a popping cork that's got a weight on the bottom of it, about 2.5 feet of fluorocarbon leader, 17 to 30 pound test, and a 1/0 Kale hook with a shrimp on it. Now let me show you, this is the size of shrimp that these fish just absolutely love. Everything that swims in this marsh and out in the bay, think a shrimp that looks like that is cotton candy. The other rig we used is a simple Carolina rig. It's got a 1/2 ounce weight, followed by a barrel swivel, a shorter leader, only about 18 inches of fluorocarbon leader, and once again, a 1/0 Kale hook with that same shrimp on it. We did well on this rig as well. I have a good friend who's a fishing guide at Lake Fork in Texas, but he's also on the I Am Second team. I Am Second is a website at iamsecond.com, and it's full of people that you would recognize telling their life stories. Many of those involve hitting a wall or hitting rock bottom, the bottom of the pit, and finding a way to dig and claw and climb back out. So next time you need a little encouragement, a little support, a reason to keep going, jump on iamsecond.com and check out the story of James Caldemeyer, Lake Fork fishing guide, and there are also a bunch of other people on there that you would recognize, people like Tony Dungy, Scott Hamilton, Clayton Kershaw, Sam Bradford, Daryl Waltrip, and a bunch more. You might just catch enough inspiration to face your own challenge. I hope you enjoyed our episode this week from Hopedale, Louisiana. You're looking at the contact information for Captain Britt Ortis. You need to come book a guide trip with him and go out on the Gulf to the offshore rigs and catch all those speckled trout. They're here during all the warm weather months, but you have to catch a good weather day. The wind's got to be below 10 to 13 knots to even get out there. But if you do, it can be very, very fun and rewarding. If not, you can come inside the marsh and catch redfish and sheepshead, lots of other species of fish as well. You'd enjoy a trip with Captain Ortis. He's got a great place to stay right on the canal here as well. Don't forget to jump on our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com, sign up for our free newsletter, lots of fishing information that you won't see here on the show, plus a preview clip of each week's episode, and you'll be the only one that gets to see it each week. From Hopedale, Louisiana, until next week, I'm Barry Stokes. Be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.